Hi guys, welcome back to our video. Today is Sunday the 6th.
Sunday the 6th.
Yes,
of
tomorrow.
September.
Oh, yeah, September the 6th on a Sunday. Sunday morning.
Sunday, September 6th.
Yes.
So we just wanted to go.
We're home all week. We have no clue what's going on in the month or the date. At least I'm lost. Anyhow, today we just want to update on our plants.
On our front yard garden.
Yes.
So Raw was noticing that the tomatoes that we had out here, the cherry tomatoes, were thriving and they were doing fantastically amazing, but they were doing a little too amazing.
Yes.
And so they were starting to overtake the pepper plants that we had here. And between the cherry tomatoes and the peppers, we value the peppers much higher than we value the cherry tomatoes.
Exactly.
Plus, we have other cherry tomatoes planted in the backyard. And a couple other spots. So
cherry tomato overload.
No reason
at the
that
Rosses.
we need to have that many cherry tomato plants. So,
okay,
so what we did was Raw went through and she actually just tore out all of the tomato vines, so that way it could free up and all that, get rid of all the shade and stealing all the nutrients from the pepper plants.
Yeah.
So that way it just gives that much more to the pepper plants. And as we were doing that, we noticed a few of the pepper plants that were completely hidden by the tomato vines.
Yeah. And they're not that big, just because
they're kind of small because
sunlight.
again they're competing against the tomato vines, and the tomato vines were just overtaking things. So
okay, well let's
we want to show you guys some of the things that we discovered.
Okay, let me flip this over. So
as you can see, like down here, this is one of the things that we were.
Wait! Before we show them, let's show them what I did. The result of all the tomato plants that I yank out. Come back real fast. See, before we have tomato plants in the front. It was all bushy, filled with tomato plants. And that day that we took it out, we had scattered thunderstorm all day with warning with tornadoes warning as well. And then it rained so hard that the ground got soft, and I just took advantage of it and just yanked it out with just one hand. It came out very easily. But as you could tell, there's some tomato that's still on the ground, which I'm not gonna pick up because I'm just gonna let it go in the ground, and then next year it'll come back with the little baby plants, and then I'll pull it out that way.
So this is one of the things that we're talking about here, how this plant is struggling to live. And again, it's just because there used to be a tomato vine that was just completely taken over. We didn't even know that plant was even there. And so by taking the tomatoes out, hopefully this plant will survive. Of course, it's starting to get fairly late in the season, so even if it does survive, I don't know if we'll get anything from it. But it is what it is. So
see, with these ones, I have to, because they were just pushed down by the tomato plants, and it just not, it was leaning forward.
Yeah, just
to the point.
Trying to get sun, being pushed down by the tomato vines.
So, and if you can look at the background, like the pepper plants in the back, you see, look at the size different.
Yeah, in comparison. But what we did notice is we found some things like these peppers that were in spite still growing. So these are like an Anaheim chili, I can tell just by the shape and how big it's getting. So this is going to get quite a bit bigger, but it's still a very pleasant surprise to see the pepper growing in spite of the struggles that it had.
Look at that one. I mean, that's a pepper plant, and it's like 6 inches maybe.
Yeah.
Compared to those back there,
that
it's
are
like 4 feet high.
6 feet tall.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 5.5 feet
Between
tall.
4 to
and
6.
it's taller than I am. But then we also discovered here.
Oh wow, babe! I did not see this. Did you see this?
The red one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a jalapeno in there.
Well, yeah, I haven't been harvesting my plants just because I want them to go to seed. That way I can collect the seeds for next year. And like my husband says, that's a jalapeno pepper right there.
Yeah, but I mean,
you
don't need to
here.
let too many of them go to seeds.
Oh,
because
yeah.
one pepper is going to contain probably 200 seeds in it.
Now look at the top.
And then if you look at the plant right behind it, that's just covered with peppers, jalapenos again. And of course these ones here are the bird's eyes, and so you can see they're a little hard to see just because they're green, but they are just covering these plants. And this is in it on top of the fact that every day, probably 2 to 3 times a day, we're coming out and picking anywhere from 4 to 10 peppers because we're using them as we're eating. And so we love peppers, and so we've been eating them.
To be honest with you, we have so much peppers on the pepper plants. It's to the point where it is top heavy because there's so much peppers on here, and I have to literally, like, because it's top heavy, I have to tie the branches up with yarn. Yeah, like this one, for example.
One thing that I'm super excited was
Like with this one right here, because it was top heavy. Look at, I have to tie it on the piece of yarn to help hold it, because if not, it's gonna basically fall down and eventually break the branches. Here's some more right here. Lots of yummy peppers. What is this, babe?
So these ones I'm really excited about because these are habaneros. And so, I mean, this plant's itty bitty and it is just got a bunch of them hanging off of it. So I'm excited because habaneros are extremely hot, but they're also extremely flavorful. And so I'm excited about that. So I really didn't think that we were going to have any habaneros coming in, but like I said, what a very pleasant surprise.
Yeah. And these pepper plants right here was also under the tomato vines. And
yeah, I had no idea that pepper plant was even there.
yeah.
And then as
So
we
that's a
worked
lot.
out the tomato vine, suddenly it was like, hi, and then
Yummy.
what a surprise. What a pleasant
Yummy.
surprise.
And I want to show you our other peppers as well.
So here's another plant, and it looks like it's a habanero. I'm not 100% on it, but just by the initial shape of it, that I would guess it would be a habanero, but we'll see
It's
as time goes
a lot
by.
taller than the one that's under the
Yeah, this
tomato
plant's
plants.
a lot healthier, and as you can see, it's got a lot of flowers on it. And even right now, we can hear the bees buzzing around, and so that's another good sign. So
Yeah.
hopefully, we'll get a bunch of peppers out of here as well.
Yeah, sadly these two right here were also under the
Yeah, and
tomato plants.
struggling for life.
So FYI, because we're rookies here,
Well, the tomatoes.
don't plant tomato plants with peppers.
Well, that's just kind of a given thing. That just be prepared that wherever you plant tomatoes, you can't plant things next to them because they just take
Yeah.
over.
But we're just happy that we're gonna get lots of peppers. They're green right now. I'm excited for the peppers to change colors to red.
Like this one's starting to do here.
Is that what it is? Oh, wow. Look at that. Is that, what pepper is that? Bell pepper? No.
No, definitely not a bell pepper. This could be a banana, or like a Hungarian wax pepper, I believe.
Yes.
A Hungarian pepper. So we're excited because, again, we didn't even know that these plants were here, let alone having peppers on them that were starting to turn colors.
Yeah, the planter bed in the front looks a lot prettier, not as overgrown anymore. Like I really did try my best to save those tomato plants, but it is just not working out for me, because I rather pick pepper plants over tomato plants any day. And plus it's towards the end of the summer already, so might as well pull it out, yank it off, and start again next year.
As we continue along, again, we're excited because over here we see, what is it again? More habaneros. And so I'm excited about that. And then we have more jalapenos growing in the back. And we even have some more, again, I don't know if they're Hungarian peppers or if they're exactly what, but we got these ones growing again back here. So I'm excited. These ones we actually transplanted from the other side because when they started coming in, they were just so many of them. They were so bunched up. We knew that if we didn't do something, they wouldn't survive. So we transplanted them, which is why these ones over here are significantly smaller. But they survived. They're starting to thrive. They're starting to take off, and we're excited.
All right,
to see something. So you might be wondering what this white stuff is on the leaves. And so yesterday I went through and I sprayed all of the plants or coated them all with diatomaceous earth. That's one of the things that we use to help control bugs. Between the BT for the caterpillars and then the diatomaceous earth pretty much takes care of everything else.
Yeah,
So
like
that's
our
what
pepper
that is,
plants,
if you're wondering.
to be honest with you, let me show you. Between our pepper plants and our tomato plants, we do not have any type of worms or caterpillar issues at all. That's our last tomato plants in the front yard. Like I said, the leaves are just gorgeous. I don't see any those big caterpillars, big hornworms.
Tomato worms.
Yes. And then on this side, it's the same thing. Our pepper plants are just doing so well just because there's no worms attacking it because my husband put
caterpillars.
He put the BT and the
Diatomaceous earth.
yes,
Or DE.
DE onto the plant. But yeah, we just want to show you
It's a quick update.
Quick update on what I did. I mean, I got kind of annoyed and irritated with the tomato plant just hanging over the sidewalk, and I mean, as much as I tried to save it, I couldn't save just too much. It's an eyesore. It's too bushy, overcrowded. It's killing my pepper plants, and so now it looks good, and I feel very good. We're gonna continue to get more peppers, just because they're the ones in the front were doing so horrible because they were crowded by the tomato plants. But I think they're gonna produce a lot more. Let's just look at this. Going back to the same plant. I mean, look at that jalapeno plants. Look at the peppers.
Yeah, and that's not considering, I mean, if you look at all along here, I mean, these plants are just everywhere you look, completely covered in peppers everywhere.
Yeah.
And so, and there's, as you can see, tons and tons of flowers that are just going to continue to turn into peppers.
Yes.
So.
And the peppers are changing color as well, you guys. These, the chili peppers right here, they're not green anymore. I mean, they're not light green anymore. They're turning into like dark green. Pretty soon it's going to be red. It's going to change into red.
They're at their hottest.
But we pick them every day every time we're having dinner or lunch. So.
All right, guys. So it looks like we just wanted to give you a quick update of what we had going on in the front yard and how things were thriving to the point where we even had to just start taking stuff out to choose which one we wanted to survive. So as always, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Please share our videos if you find our videos interesting, or if you think you might know somebody that would benefit from it or also find it interesting. Please help support our channel. And as always, thank you for your support.
Thank you. Bye.